Hello everyone, Psychopath1 here. I'm gonna do two reviews tonight. Gonna be some stuff I got over the holidays and for my birthday and whatnot. It's just gonna be two reviews for right now. But the first one up is it's an Unearthed Films release. Famine. I always liked the tagline: 20 students, 20 hours, 20 horrible ways to die. Only one of those well, I'd say about two out of those three things is wrong because there's definitely not 20 students and there's definitely not 20 people dying. But there's a good amount. There's about 10. I might have counted wrong. There might have been 12 maybe. So, yeah. Made by the late Ryan Nicholson, rest in peace. Big inspiration to myself as I always write scripts for fun and I always wanted like if I ever got into like making movies, I wanted Ryan Nicholson to do the effects, but I still have my script and I'm keeping it. But anyways, what is Famine about? This one is the only film I can think of in Ryan's discography that, well, filmography, that's a straight up comedy. There's a lot of death in this, but boy, is it really, really silly, and I'm here for it. Literally feels like it literally feels like if Trauma made an extreme gore movie, which they make some pretty extreme gore one, but it's all cartoony. But the gore in this is fantastic. Like two tones. It's pretty much tonal whiplash. Like you see something really funny, and then you see a death that's just like whoa. But and I might have talked about this when I talked about Gutterballs, but Ryan Nicholson said in commentaries when he makes a killer, he wants to make them look silly and fun. And the killer of this film is a mascot for a high school. Uh, for a high school, and here's the type of humor you can expect. Um, uh, right in the synopsis, it says. Um, the high school of sloppy secondary. So lowbrow type of humor. There's a dude who really loves his Swiss rolls. So yeah, there's a funny scene with him. Uh, so pretty much what this film is about. Um, there was a famine 5 years ago in the movie, and what ended up happening was there was a teacher who ended up getting burnt by acid in an accident, and his name, I'm gonna straight up say this, like this is the type of humor we're dealing with. The teacher's name was Mr. Balzac. Balzsac. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, he gets the acid poured all over his face. He bumps into a shelf with acid above it. And I'm like, why would he have acid in your office? And I ask that every time I watch this movie. I've watched it about 3 times, but the first time was on, well, the third time was on Blu-ray. The first time was actually on YouTube. Which, by the way, YouTube takes out the music, even though it's a free upload. So the uploader can't get in trouble. He removed the music. The music on this thing is fantastic. It's death metal, and some really good death metal too. It plays mostly during the kill scenes. So, but anyways, Mr. Balsack ends up disappearing after 5 years, so everybody presumes him to be dead. And it takes place 5 years later. All of the kids that were at the previous famine, they're on their way to do a new famine for extra credit so they can graduate and whatnot. So it's I want to say it's 6 boys and 6 girls, so 12. So 12 people. And they are some of the most unlikable, the best way to describe pricks. These are the most unlikable pricks I've seen in a movie. And in other movies, that might have been a negative, but because of how cartoony these idiots are, I'm all for it. Like these are just cartoon caricatures, uh, vented up to 11. But anyways, it's 5 years, and we've got our group of characters. We've got Sarah, we've got Stacy, we've got uh, I always forget her name. Right there, that kind of spoils the ending of it though. We get the teacher, Miss Vickers. We've got the jock type character named Nick, who has really big teeth, like looks almost like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Um, we've got I want to say there's a character named Debbie, and I forget the dude who loves the Swiss rolls. I forget his name, but he was pretty funny. And I'm not naming all of the students because I might forget some of the names, but the kills is what matters here. Next to the comedy, if you're into the comedy, which if you're into trauma, you will definitely enjoy this, but if you're not into trauma, stay far away. So, um, I don't know if there's a death reel you can see on YouTube. Like I know some uploaders will upload death reels of movies. But there's a death in this that is very graphic when it comes to the nudity. So yeah. Um, so now we get into the deaths. Um, we've got these two girls hiding some food in the uh, in the little box in the girls' restroom for everybody to snack on. The rule of the famine is not to eat for 24 hours for charity, and also get extra credit. So, anyways, not eating for 24 hours. I don't know how ethical that would be, especially in today's, like, especially in a world that this movie is supposed to take place in, where everybody like lives in their own house and everything. Not eating for 24 hours is kind of weird, but oh well, it's a way to set up the movie. So, anyways, the two girls are putting away their food, and then all of a sudden, the lights go out in the bathroom. One of the girls leaves. The other girl is going to the bathroom, going urinating. And all of a sudden, she ends up turning around, and right there is the mascot named the Nailer. And he has a huge inflatable hammer. And like I said, humor. Um, and so she's like, "Ooh, you like to nail? You like to nail me, baby?" And then the nailer is uh like nodding and everything, and then she sets back a little bit, like moves back a little bit and screams out, "Nail me, baby!" And so he takes a giant nail. Like, I've never seen a nail quite as big as this, but it's a pretty big nail. He throws it like a dart right into the girl's head, and the deaths are pretty cartoony, but still over the top. Blood just starts pouring out, and this heavy metal music starts playing, and the the whole time she's just bleeding out like blood after blood after blood, just coming right out of her head. And the nailer ends up clapping his hands and dancing around in the blood, and I'm just like, okay, cool. So it's gonna be this kind of movie. Like, I like movies that don't take themselves too seriously, and I like that Ryan Nicholson did do that with some of his movies. Hanger is a great example of not taking itself too seriously, but this took it to a cartoony comedy, almost like if South Park and Troma teamed up to make a movie. The people of South Park, Trey Park and Matt Stone, which they did actually do a Troma movie. It was Cannibal the Musical, which I still haven't seen. So, anyways, to the next death. I'm not gonna spoil all of the deaths, but I'm gonna say some of my favorite ones. There's this dude who is messing around with the school food that's gonna be served the next day, and what ends up happening is like he pees in the pickles, and I'm just like, you, ugh. He ends up spitting and you putting boogers inside the beef stew, and I'm just like, dude. And while that's happening, you just see the nailer appear behind him, just sneaking up on him, and you get this great throat slit, just an absolute bloodbath of a throat slit. I've never seen a throat slit quite like this. That's that bloody. And you think that he's done slicing the throat with that just one slice. What the killer decides to do, he grabs the head with his big hand and takes his other hand that holds the knife and starts wiggling the knife around his neck, almost like he's playing with the neck innards. And I thought that was weird. So yeah. But if this movie sounds interesting to you, I got my copy for I want to say $20 on Amazon. That's the cheapest place to get it, unless you go to like Grindhouse Video or Diabolic DVD. But I got this as a Christmas gift. But yeah, the kills are great. The characters are cartoony in so many different ways. Cartoonily evil, cartoonily stupid, cartoonily uh, bitchy. Like there's some really bitchy characters in this movie, and the the identity of the killer didn't surprise me when I first saw it, because like if you follow like the rules of like other slasher movies with a mystery, you can usually point out the this one was the easiest one to point out the killer, because it's one of the new characters that wasn't at the last famine. So um, you're like having a suspicion of who it might be, and chances are that suspicion is going to be correct. But yeah, what do I give Famine? Um, Part of me, for how much I loved the gore, I want to give it an 8. But uh, with how long it does take to get to some of the kills, like the the kills are not evenly spaced out, which can be a turnoff. It's a short movie though, so you're not going to be waiting too long. It's it is 77 minutes, so not that long at all. But there are some parts that you're just waiting for the next kill to happen, and then by the time 3 kills happen, like you're halfway done with the movie, so you got to start killing them off a little bit faster. But before I go uh, and rate it, I rated a 7 out of 10. The death that is very graphic. It involves a girl getting her shirt split down the middle and her stuff showing, and the killer ends up cutting. You already know where this is going. Starts cutting with a knife right into the girl's chest, like right around that area of the chest. And I was just like, "Ooh, that's gnarly, but dang, it's a good effect. But dang, like that was mean." Like, like with Ryan Nicholson, like he has kills that are just plain mean. Uh, Gutterball was a great example of that. Like the castration scene in that movie. Ooh, never seen a castration scene like that. But yeah, um, if you're into trauma, give this movie a chance. 7 out of 10. Great gore, fun performances. Like the cast seemed like they had a fun time, but From what I heard, like the filming wasn't exactly fun to do for Ryan. And Ryan Nicholson, it says in the credits, he plays the nailer. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So, anyways, 7 out of 10. Uh, I don't know if you can rent it anywhere. I know you can watch it on YouTube, but the music will be cut out. But if you don't mind the music being cut out, definitely check it out. On YouTube, it's listed as just "Stupid Teenagers Must Die." It also goes under another title and I don't know where else I've seen the title, uh, uh, except for through mentioning of YouTube like videos. It also goes under the name Detention Night, which I think that is a pretty weird title considering it doesn't have anything to do with detention. So yeah, definitely check it out. Hopefully you all enjoyed this review, and I will be back with my next review uh, of a Andrea Chanas masterpiece. So catch you in a bit.